people say Michelangelo didn't fuck with the church. They're like, yeah, he was not about.
He was gay, dude.
Yeah, he was not.
You didn't do the tour where they explain the shit
I
to you?
watched fucking Angels and Demons or whatever the fuck y'all fucking watch.
Nah, you gotta,
Don't make it all. You love that shit.
Angels and Demons, bro.
You love that shit.
The Da Vinci Code, nigga. Oh, the Illuminati.
Follow the red line.
Real history from Wikipedia, son.
Yeah, that's why he didn't like it.
Rose
You
line,
didn't take the tour. If you take the tour,
I had a guide.
oh,
Yeah.
son, I don't know how you still didn't like it.
But like this shit,
Yeah, this is
he's inside the brain or whatever.
the brain. Yeah, God is the brain.
So you did do it.
I mean, everybody knows this, right?
What's the
Just
Easter egg?
This is just the fucking, like, the little Japanese girls do that shit or whatever.
yeah, but what's the Easter egg?
So like Michelangelo basically was saying like, oh, God is. I mean, you can interpret it a bunch of different ways, but basically God is inside the brain of man.
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, he didn't know that. I'm educating him. Okay.
No, I didn't. I don't know what's unique
They
about
make
that.
it look like a brain. Do you see that?
Okay.
So
okay.
Michelangelo's
shape of a
painting.
brain.
He's painting in the crown jewel of the Catholic Church, being like, yo, this God shit is not even real. That's
Well,
crazy.
he didn't say it's not real.
Well, maybe he did. We don't know.
That's what he
said.
might be saying. I understand now.
Did you see the picture where they're? It's not on the ceiling. It's on the behind the altar or whatever like that. Where actually I forget which one it is, but the image where he's showing who goes to hell and who doesn't. Yo, Michelangelo's kind of lit. Outside of boy fucking.
He put one of the popes in hell or some shit, right?
Nah, he put the cardinal.
It's a pretty big caveat. Outside of boy fucking, he's pretty lit.
No, outside of boy fucking. Yo, when we had Stavros here, he
Judge
really
people
broke
based
that
on the
down.
time. Judge people based on the time they were in, bro.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because Michelangelo, we got fucking plazas dedicated to this
Yeah.
boy fucker. Like it
Yeah.
was what it was. But he has this thing about it's like basically the rapture. You can look at the image of the rapture.
Is this Dante's Inferno?
No, it's called The Last Judgment.
The Last Judgment, yeah. And he's in it too, which is kind of fire. This is the little Easter egg that's kind of cool. But there was one dude that was talking wild shit about him, and he didn't like him.
Right.
So he put him being dragged to hell.
Oh, I
Click on
think
this
I-
and
yeah, I
drag and
think I
go
remember
to
this.
and zoom in, and then look at the bottom right.
It's the
What, this guy?
to the left.
No. But this isn't the picture.
Yeah, that's zoomed in. You gotta go like 2 images
Yeah.
over.
Okay. Yeah. Now, take this and then zoom all the way into the bottom right. Okay. Now look at the bottom right. That guy on the bottom right.
Mm-hmm.
That was his biggest critic. Didn't want him to do and was giving mad pushback about everything he was doing. He has him going to hell, and he has a snake wrapped around him, biting his dick off. Right?
Fire.
And then another kind of cool thing is.
there was fucking animals that I could have been
Oh
lit.
yeah, maybe it was a fetish. So this thing right here,
yeah.
that's Michelangelo.
Oh, he's getting dragged into heaven or some shit?
Well, his soul exists in hell,
Whoa.
and his skin. They're trying to take him to heaven, but he knows the life that he
Like,
lives.
yo, I'm a bad guy.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
staying
wow.
here. But everyone thinks I'm gonna be in heaven.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Yeah, that's fine.
I thought that's kind of cool.
Damn, this
crazy.
is amazing.
But
How
to
you
me,
hating
that
on this?
acknowledges that he is somewhat religious.
Yeah.
Right? He's going. He's not saying that that's him. He's just putting the skin suit in there. So he's like, all right, maybe I do believe in this thing that's out here, and I'm going to be punished because I chose to live this life. But in terms of like the imagery and stuff, I've seen better paintings. I wasn't
Yeah.
blown away.
He put God's ass randomly on the Sistine Chapel.
Oh, also, he was stealing mad people's shit. Like, he was walking around the Vatican and there's all these sculptures and like all these faces. And you can see who he used, the bodies and the faces, to make the images of God.
That's
So
funny.
he's just walking around the Vatican be like, oh, that's a pretty good body. I'll just paint that as God's body. I don't like that face. I'll paint that as God's face.
That's fire.
Yeah.
I mean, we all had Ghost Riders.
But mid though, right?
You got the ghost right.
But he still painted it. You know what I mean? Like,
got the
I gotta
ghost
think of what the body looks like.
He still done
He's a
drank it.
painter, son. Like, the fuck you want him to do, right?
He painted. That's what I'm saying. He's still. I don't fault him for getting inspiration.
I don't know. I was in there. I thought it was
One
mid.
crazy thing about this time is that like right now, if you think about it, there's so many artists that are probably nicer than him,
Way nicer.
but we don't like build them up or praise them to like do some shit like that.
I'll say about him
I was
specifically.
blown away by the Vatican. Dead ass.
I'll
I
say
was
something
really blown away.
specifically
I'm just saying, like,
about him, and this is important to
Yeah.
understand. Like, he was also an engineer, and that's what's kind of crazy about this time.
Made a
So, like,
helicopter, bro.
that was Leonardo,
Da Vinci.
right?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, Da Vinci. But this guy, for example, he's painting the ceiling, right? The ceiling's very tall.
Yeah.
He built the rig so he could paint the ceiling. Like he constructed it, he did all the engineering to build it. It doesn't seem like that crazy, but imagine your average painter right now. They don't know no shit about fucking.
But if like, hey,
And
you're
it's-
gonna get paid a bunch of money to be able to get up there and paint some shit, they gonna figure that shit out,
You
bro.
get paid a bunch of money. It's yo, God wants you to come paint, fam.
Bro, this is 1500s.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from it. I'm just saying we don't appreciate art the way that they did in the past.
But they also knew it was marketing. It's like people had nothing to do. Like this is a movie.
We also got TikTok, bro.
That's what
That's
I'm saying.
facts.
Yeah.
But
There's
like,
a lot more. Yeah.
when you see these pieces, like you realize they're just like telling stories. And it's basically like a movie before a movie. There's this column in Rome. Did you see that column? It's near the Forum.
Maybe.
And it's basically the story of
The one column.
there's like it's like a really specific column. And it basically wraps around with a story. And for people that can't read, they just understand imagery. It's the story, I forget exactly what it is. Maybe of the Roman Empire or how they conquered a certain place, whatever.
But you can walk around that shit for an hour.
And imagine that, like, we watch the same Friends, people go to bed watching Friends, but imagine you took your kid and then you explained what happened in
Yeah.
each moment. That's a movie.
Yeah.
So I see
I don't know,
what they're
TikTok's
doing.
better, bro. I wasn't with Al, but now I'm with you, bro. Average TikTok might be better than the Sistine Chapel.
I'm
we
with
got
you on that.
We got a bunch of
average TikTok.
Michelangelos right now, so we got a bunch of these.
I'm
motherfuckers.
with you on that. I thought the Sistine Chapel was mid. I thought Vatican was kind of mid. There was advertisements for Mexico when I walked in. There was like 4 billboards for Mexico. And I'm like, I know they ain't advertising in the motherfucking Vatican, bro. You got to advertise heaven. Not Mexico.
Whole thing.
No, advertise heaven.
It was my first trip to Italy, so I hadn't seen any of the basilica shit, or my first trip to Europe, so I hadn't seen any basilica shit. I hadn't seen any of these churches that were so beautiful.
Right.
So the first thing I saw was the Vatican, and I was like, what the fuck? This is incredible. I haven't seen anything like this.
It's good to start there.
Yeah.
And then you just go into downtown and drive by wild shit from thousands of years ago that's just right in the middle of town.
Yeah.
I mean, you could drive by the Coliseum.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. You just walk by it getting
So
somewhere else.
My thing to you is that you're blown away by this because you went there for a limited period of time. If you live there, you'll be over
This
it.
he always says is to stay in New York.
Son,
this
you'll
is
be
whole-
over. You'll be over it.
I don't want to move to Italy.
Son, people come from around the world to see Times Square. They're blown the fuck away.
No, I
and
think
we're
that-
so over it.
No, I think what we've made is incredible. And I think that, like, bro, you take a flight and you land at JFK or you land at Newark and you look out the window and you get to see Manhattan, the island.
It's amazing.
That is
No, it's
a
impressive.
miracle.
Absolutely impressive.
It's a miracle what happened here. So, and we're inside it, so it's hard to get perspective. But like your building is super tall. You probably have views of the city or something like that,
Yeah.
right? So it's like you get to see what we did. Like, and I imagine you're coming from another place. You go to Europe, they don't got buildings more than 6 stories.
That's what they're fascinated by.
Yeah,
Still, they got
like-
skyscrapers there.
It's remarkable what we got. There's no question. It's also remarkable what they got. But when you look at like the history of like the empire, for me, what's so fascinating is just to kind of like live within the history, to know that there are people that just built these things. You're in the Colosseum, you're like, yo, thousands of years ago, they got animals from Africa.
Stealing babies, bro. That's crazy. And they had ships. Isn't that the craziest one?
That's wild.
The fact they had whole boats doing battleships in there?
Yeah. And the Colosseum wasn't even a big shit. The Colosseum was little compared to what they had in the Forum. That's the other thing that's wild. A crazy thing, the dude that had, I think it was Nero that had the Colosseum built. I'm pretty sure it was him. Dude went crazy.
Yeah.
And
I think he's the guy they traced the fall of Rome back to, I think.
Is that right?
I think. It's
I don't
some, maybe
Nero fiddled on Rome
some,
burn or whatever.
yeah.
Incest right there, bro.
no, lead pipes.
Oh, yeah.
They don't know that for a fact, but he didn't get crazy until he was already living in the royal facility. And before that, you're getting water from whatever source you're getting water from. Maybe you have a well by your home or a state. It's not like he was poor. But once you're using the actual plumbing, the average person isn't getting access to that just pouring right to their house. Only the royals are. So this dude's getting that. This is the one theory. Getting that lead pipe water.
Yeah.
Man went crazy. Kills Peter.
Yeah.
Lead pipes made Catholicism.
Let's go.
Yo, I'm just saying, like, think about it, right? Like,
Yeah. No. But
there's
yes,
no
but
Vatican without lead pipes, bro.
Wow.
There's no Vatican without
way.
lead pipes.
You know what? Yeah. That's a good ass point. Honestly, you got a good point.
I'm just saying, bro. Ain't no Vatican without lead.